Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and this video we're breaking down The Boys Season 5. Over the weekend at CCXP, Amazon dropped the first teaser for the show's final season. Premiering April 8th, 2026, we'll get a double episode drop with weekly releases until May 20th. Eric Kripke's kept the plot lines very close to his chest, and we know that they aren't doing what happens at the end of the books in terms of the twist with Black Noir. However, at the core, we will have the showdown between the boys and Vought, which will lead us to a blood-soaked conclusion. In this breakdown, we'll be going through the trailer scene by scene to talk about the Easter eggs, comic callbacks, Gen V nods, supernatural reunions, and all the teasers that we could find for what's going to happen. We'll also have some theories about who's going to die, and yeah, lots to talk about. I've wasted enough of your time though, so let's get into the trailer itself.
Even if I have to drag your broken fucking carcasses over the finish line, we are going all the way, no matter the cost, till the job's fucking done.
Okay, so we start with Mother's Milk saying how they aren't surviving this war. Cutting to the aftermath of a massacre, we see bloody bodies lining what looks like an abandoned car park. I did wonder if the location might be Sage Grove, but it does look different from how it's been depicted before. Might also be one of the prisons, but yeah, it's difficult to make out exactly what's going on, but it does look like there's been a massacre. Now, I have two theories on this, with the first being that it was a protest or something along those lines, and those who were at the event were then killed in the process. There's also the possibility that this is the effect of the virus, or maybe even some head popping. It reminds me a lot of the comics when Butcher blew all of Supes' heads off in Russia after discovering that a radio signal could trigger Supes' heads to explode. In the final run of the comics, Butcher then climbs up on the Empire State Building to set this off, which will detonate and kill all the Supes in the world. He is stopped by Huey though, but yeah, just seeing the bodies like this reminds me a lot of that scene in Russia. Either way, we then see the boys walking through the forest. Butcher is back with a gang, and I've seen a lot of complaints that this trailer undoes the cliffhanger ending of Season 4. There, Butcher drove off with his darker side, fully embraced, heading off to who knows where. However, this trailer makes it very clear that he's back with the group. So I do wonder if, like, Marie from Gen V heals him, and this also sorts out his mental issues. This could end up stripping his powers as well, but yeah, we're going to have to see how it plays out, but he is back with the group. It's also very clear as well that this is going to be the boys' final ride. The Styx song Renegade plays in the background, and it's set up in a way where it kind of feels like a eulogy. Renegade feels fitting as well, as it's about standing up to authority, and this of course represents what the boys are doing here. They make it clear they're not expecting anyone to survive this, and yeah, if you've read the comics, then you'll know the odds of them making it through aren't all that good. Yeah, if you've read the comics, you know lots and lots of characters die, and I think that's probably going to happen in the series too. We then see a Supe-themed concentration camp, which is carried out by Vernon Corrections Services. If that name sounds familiar, it's actually the corporation that was owned by Tech Knight. It's clearly talking about how prisons have also become a wing of corporations now, and yet there's big studies about how the prisoners for profit model has been utilized to create vast amounts of money. The sweaters the prisoners are forced to wear also have the stars and stripes on the back, which is clearly mirroring Homelander's cape. If you like walking around in Homelander themed stuff though, then why not check out our merch store right below the video. There we've got stuff like our Only Man in the Sky design, Gen V, Me and the Boys, and lots of different ones. We have got a big December sale on at the moment. You get at least 10% off the first shirt you buy, and every shirt after that, you get more and more of a discount. It all goes towards helping videos like this get made as well, and huge thank you for picking one up. It's a bit of spam there. Now the buildings also have lots of friendly Supe-themed images, and there's a picture of Homelander smiling on a container. However, there's a scary undercurrent to it with an armed guard stationed above it, and the saying firm but fair, which I don't, is it though? Inside we see Huey, who's in one of the sweaters. Pinned like a badge of shame, it's a direct reference to the re-education that Vought discusses during issue 19 of the comics. Now, I'm guessing that this is a place to put political prisoners who don't have superpowers. We know that Supes get sent to proper containment places like the one we got in Gen V Season 2. The fact that this is open air and just has fences makes me think it's solely for regular Joes. Starlight later appears there using her powers, and at the 116 mark we also see a train rushing through it. He's moving super fast while the guards fire very slowly, and this looks like it's basically going to be a sort of Days of Future Past speedster scene. In case you missed Gen V Season 2, it basically ended with the students meeting back up with Annie, and then A-Train showed up as well. And thus, the character's now part of the boys too. We've done breakdowns on that entire season. Definitely recommend you go check it out, because it will fill in stuff for this one. But yeah, if you want a quick run through, breakdowns on the channel now. Now my guess is that rescuing Huey from here is how we're going to kickstart the season. Lots of the group were captured at the end of Season 4, so it just makes sense to start stuff here. In between this, we get cuts of Huey wearing a shirt that I'd never expect him to wear, and he's also holding Annie's hand. Now that shirt makes me think it's something they grabbed on the way out of the camp or on the road, having just escaped it. Might be reaching, but yeah, it doesn't really feel like the kind of thing he'd usually wear. So I feel like they'd taken his clothes at the camp and then he'd grabbed this on the way out. He should have went to a merch store if he wanted clothes. Also, later on in the trailer, he does have a denim shirt and sheepskin jacket on, so maybe the lad's just changed his fashion sense. Judging by the room around them though, this also looks like a makeshift hiding place. Kinda looks like a rec centre or somewhere they're laying low at. This shot of them being united as one is also mirrored in Frenchie and Kimiko. I think these scenes are probably going to happen near each other, with Butcher then asking them if they want to have one more go. I'm not up on my ASL, but it does look like she says she's in. Kimiko has also reverted back to being a mute after her season 4 vocal breakthrough. Now it is kind of strange seeing a lot of the stuff from seasons 4 ending. It is sort of undone, and I wonder if there's something else afoot here. Like maybe the re-education literally means that they had a psychic soup that erased their memory or something. Or maybe they're just like, oh, we've got like 8 episodes we need to do, so let's kind of roll stuff back a bit. In between this, we then get Black Noir killing someone in front of Huey. Seems like he's tied to a chair, and if you look closely at the guard's shirt just after he's stabbed, you can see that there's a Vought badge on it. So I do wonder if this is suggesting that Black Noir may have turned against the company as well. Potentially, he could be rescuing Huey, or maybe framing Huey for further attacks on the company is actually the goal here. I don't know, mate. Now, speaking of things reverting, we also see the return of Ashley, who looks completely normal. Season 4 left things off with her taking Compound V and then mutating. We cut before we got to see the outcome, and I was expecting her to become like a monster or something. However, it appears that she's back to normal, and she's giving talks at the White House press conference. I do think that her head might be bulbous like the leader in Brave New World, and she's simply got the wig covering it and looks normal to most of the world. Now, we also know that shapeshifters of course exist in this universe, so someone may have also taken her form. However, I do feel like this is actually the character, but yeah, we're yet to see how her powers have manifested. Right after this, we get Zoe Newman's tentacles coming out her mouth and then cut to Stan Edgar. In case you missed Gen V, the pair had been living in a bunker underground, but it looks like they're getting more involved in the fight. We then get a scene that I believe is Ryan attacking a SWAT team. It's possible that Homelanders sent them to bring his son in, but he basically handles them exactly how his dad would have. We see guards moving through a room at night before one's basically Batmaned up into the ceiling. Some Predator mode takedown stuff there, mate. The other guard shoots up, and we see Ryan covered in blood, looking just like his dad. His eyes glow red, and I am interested to see where his character's gonna go. I do think he's going to be crucial in taking down his father, and making sure they don't create another Homelander is going to be a big driving force in the season. Thus, I think Butcher will take down the villain and spare Ryan from killing his dad, and making his journey to the dark side complete. We then cut to Sister Sage sitting in a chair, likely working out the next part of her plan. Continuing on from this, we have Soldier Boy, who was last seen at the end of Season 3. Well, he was in Gen V, but it didn't really count because it wasn't him. However, we see Homelander coming across his Winter Soldier container, and they appear to be working together side by side later on. We do know that Soldier Boy and Stormfront have an upcoming spin-off, but that'll be a period piece set before the series. I am curious about his allegiances though, because my guy just switches sides constantly. He's the series' biggest wildcard to me, and I do feel like he might be integral in taking his son down. Like, I don't know how the guy who fought against fascism in the war is gonna feel about his son being a fascist. I think Homelander's probably going to question his allegiances too. He's clearly kept his dad locked up in Vought Tower for what I imagine is quite a while, judging by the way it's like positioned there. And I do feel like Soldier Boy's going to be like, why haven't you let me out? You kept me all this time. So yeah, I do think tensions will fray, and you know, if his grandson's Ryan, Homelander's trying to kill Ryan, if Ryan's trying to kill Homelander, he's going to be a wild card in the mix as well. But yeah, Homelander's clearly trying to rule the planet, and if you look in the scene where Homelander's punching away at someone, we can see signs behind him that say Planet Homelander. Like the guy is taking over Earth and at this point naming it after himself. So very egotistical. The posters of the season also show him looking over the planet and basically going scorched Earth. Nukes are flying everywhere, places are getting destroyed, and he clearly thinks he owns the place. Now, alongside Soldier Boy, we also have Supernatural alumni Jared Padalecki. They're also bringing Misha Collins in as well, and have confirmed all three will share at least one scene together, which is a great reunion for the Supernatural cast. They are keeping quiet about who Jared's playing, but have said he's very excited to meet Soldier Boy. The pair have also been hinted to have a past, so I do wonder who this is. Now, I have seen theories that he's actually Jack from Jupiter, who so far hasn't appeared in the show. He did show up in Diabolical though, and was also referenced in the prawn parodies earlier in the series. Maybe he's grown his hair out or something. But yeah, he was an original member of the Seven in the comics and hasn't been included in the show yet. We also see him walk into a room with Soldier Boy and Homelanders behind him. We then get a shot of Soldier Boy and Homelander, and the red curtains here make me think this might be the Oval Office and that they're bringing him in to ask him to become part of their government. I feel like lots of Supes are going to be appointed major positions and they'll be overlooking everything, without any clue about what they're doing as well. We do get a moment where a fish is covered in oil and then cut to the deep covered in it as well. There's clearly been a devastating oil spill, which I think will be connected to Vought's moves throughout the world. At the 2-minute mark, we also see Jared surrounded in blood and guts, with it seeming like he's just exploded out of somebody. And it wouldn't be the first time something like that's happened on the boys. We then get the A-Train shot we talked about earlier with him putting on his goggles. What I love about this as well is that he speeds past the Turbo Rush advert, which also has Homelander there as well. So it's kind of symbolically showing the two opposing sides. In between this, we have Homelander smashing someone's face like the like button, and he repeatedly punches them. I feel like this is probably A-Train, with a character clearly being on thin ice. I think if there's characters that are definitely going to die, then yeah, A-Train is probably top of my list. He's a Supe as well, so it would take a lot to kill him, and the fact that Homelander is having to punch this person repeatedly makes me think that they're definitely superpowered. However, the way that he keeps going at it as well, it's almost like there's some deep-rooted dislike for them. Homelander views A-Train as one of his biggest traitors, and it just makes me think that that's who it is. Now, it's also possible that this could be Ryan, and Emergency Awesome pointed out how Homelander at one point's got this burn on his chest, which may have come from his lasers. So potentially Homelander's just wailing on his son, you know, he's like, oh, should I be doing this? He's having basically his Omni-Man moment, and then kind of regretting the way things have gone. At the Planet Homelander bit as well, this also looks like it's actually Planet Vought, which comes from earlier in the series. You can see that sign to the left, and this is the place that Homelander took Ryan, so it makes sense that he'd also be fighting him here if he turned against him. But yeah, we then get a Supe-themed stage show, which Firecracker seems to be cheering at. It is possible that this is othe, and that this might sort of be building off this stuff with Ezekiel. Looking at the logos on the chain, they've clearly got crucifixes, and it seems like a mix between church and state due to the eagle symbol behind them. We also have Butcher's dog Terra making a return, and speaking of dog, we get Dog Not back as well. First introduced in Gen V Season 2, he's basically a bounty hunter that uses his abilities to track people. And yet, looking at how he was attracted to dogs in that series, I'm kind of worried for old Terra. But yeah, I'd love to see Terra basically rip him apart, and I'm hoping that Terra kills Dog Not. We then end with Homelander basically doing a Cyclops and blasting his beams into the sky. It looks like this is uncontrollably, and we see a character backing away from him in the wide shot. Now I do wonder how this plays into the series, and actually think it might be the character's death. The way he's doing this makes me wonder if someone's managed to stick him with the virus, and then he's falling back and blasting it while trying to retain control. You might also notice there's a syringe on the ground beside him, and some people have thought that this might be an extra shot of V that takes him to the next level, which could be the case. Personally though, I think it might be the virus, and this could be what's getting injected to him. That's how I take it anyway, but the guy looks devastated. It's difficult to make out who's backing away as well, but my money is on either Butcher or Ryan. We then end with Butcher saying they're going to take it all the way, and that closes out the teaser. Apologies as well for how long this took to get out, mate. I know people are at this point, they're like, whoa, the trailer's been out 20 minutes and you haven't got a 40-minute breakdown. But I went out on the drink on Saturday with some of my mates. I hadn't seen them for a while, and then it was released Saturday night, and I was hungover most of Sunday. And yeah, having twins and being on no sleep is not a good time to make a good video. Plus, my editors don't work weekends as well, and like a couple of months ago, I went out and I came back a bit tipsy, threw together a Spider-Man costume reveal, and yeah, everyone hated it. So I just had to hold off to make the video better. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please drop a like if you did. Thank you for your patience, and also drop a comment if there's anything we missed. Or just drop a comment in general, just say something nice. I need to read it. If you want to follow us on Instagram as well and keep up to date with what we're doing, then make sure you check us out at Heavy Spoilers. Did you know as well that members of the channel also get early access to videos, and if you click the join button, you get at least one breakdown a week before anyone else. Costs just 99 cents a month. You'll get one video and a very in-depth breakdown a week early, and yeah, it just means a hell of a lot to us. I know it's like, I'm just saying, like, give us your money, but we appreciate it. Now, if you want something else to watch, you've got a breakdown on screen right now. There's lots of things going on at the moment. Welcome to Derry if you're watching that. Very traumatizing episode, and yeah, that's linked on screen, and we're going through the whole thing and destroying ourselves. If not, though, thank you for sticking through this video. I've been your host, Paul. As always, you have been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.